Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very, very special episode of Friday Night Frenzy, where everything is canon, and well, the topics are more like
guidelines than actual rules.
So let's bring in the fun here.
This is where the fun begins.
Rose, how are you?
Evil. That's just funny that we try to come on here and act.
Crime.
What are you saying? Sorry.
I hate when people do that when I'm in the middle of a sentence. I hate that.
Well,
Ugh. My brain don't focus well, remember? I was trying to say something. I'm going.
Prove it. You're a dick. Okay.
I hate people doing pop-ups over people when they're talking. No, seriously, it screws with my brain issues.
Well, let's just bring in the
something. It's gone now.
Well, let's just bring in the last member of this DK crew, shall we?
And I have my mind, and a mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. You know, Friday, end of the week, heading into the weekend.
So, before we started the stream, we had a pretty interesting pre-show, and we were talking about it. We were going pretty deep into that debate.
Well, I'll be honest. It came in because I came in a little snarky. I came in while he was listening to Nightwish, and I gave him approval. And then said, to be fair, though, that is kind of normie level in symphonic metal. And then we went into a long discussion of different music and bands.
It got pretty intellectual. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it got pretty deep. Like we were talking, like basically, I'm sorry, but I had a really big. It's like, I was arguing like music is like a higher form of art, like it affects people, and I said, what is music but not poetry? Said the lyrics. Like that is a really good line that I have to get out into the ether. Like I didn't want that to die in the pre-show.
Well, and it's what I was trying to explain to you is there is a huge overlap between the two. There are differential points where both have things they affect in the psyche and the emotional response and the intellectual response that the other doesn't, but there's a huge overlap because they are both intrinsically designed to speak through your psyche into your heart.
All right.
Poetry was literally created as an emotional language to hit the heart.
All right. So I was kind of waiting for you to finish because we got the last member of the DK crew has finally made their appearance.
I don't care.
Nix, how are you?
Pretty good. How about you all?
Hey.
Pretty good. So we were just kind of touching upon the debate we were having in the pre-show about music and whatnot. But how's everyone doing? What's everyone up to?
The heck?
Oh. Yeah,
my sister wouldn't unmute after you played the video.
What the heck?
See, even StreamYard wants to shut me the fuck up. I mean,
mind, try and keep your language to a minimum, please. Okay. I
try. Remember, I'm not full control, but I try.
Please try.
The same reason why I mute myself 90% of the time anytime I stream with Odin's movie blog, because I know what slips out my mouth. So he'd start talking and I'd mute half the time.
Do you want to so as I'm sure you can see by the title, there's a reason I have gathered you here today.
Boobs! Boobies.
Yeah.
The magic of the universe, all summed up in two orbs. I mean,
yes. I love them too. I think everyone on this panel loves boobs, but they're kind of.
I love mine, and I love drawing them, even though I'm not drawn to female bodies, which is very weird. But
that is kind of creepy. Not gonna lie.
It's not creepy. It's artistic. See, I don't have to have bisexual tendencies or be drawn to the female body to understand the intrinsic artistic form it has.
Mm-hmm.
I can draw pinup girls and nudes and absolutely believe it came out beautiful and understand the artistry of it and have zero attraction to that kind of body.
So yeah, the reason I wanted to kind of make this a topic is like boobs are kind of like it's weird that we're gonna be saying boobs like so many times throughout this stream, but like
should we try other phrases? Go titties, bazongas, jugs.
Yeah, let's rotate the phrases.
Change the phrases. Okay, let's talk about jugs, right?
All right. So bazongas. Okay, this is gonna be a great stream. I mean, down girl. But like while most people, I don't know, this kind of ties into like the American view on sexuality, where and this is strictly from an American. Oh, I should get that back on the screen because that's the one thing people hear. Like, oh, not our witty commentary. It's two other things. But like this is kind of speaking from strictly American perspective. Americans both celebrate and also denigrate sexuality. It's like it's like and I don't know if you guys have kind of noticed that in our media, where it's like oh, show the boobies. No, don't show the boobies. And it's like it's oftentimes in like the same sentence in the same media. You know, it's like or like even like, you know, it's like attractiveness is often like demonized. And like if you look at the people that are often demonizing it, they're wearing makeup, they're wearing flattering clothing, you know, it's like even if they
usually don't have very much chest and they're acting very jealous.
Well,
sorry, did I say that?
Well, I don't speak for I wouldn't speak for all of them, but the itty bitty titty squad is definitely a toxic bunch, but they don't make up all of the small chested women.
No, I'm talking about specifically the people who think that they're superior intellects or morality because they don't have big jugs, who think that having a chest that God blessed us with is not like I went out and had them put in artificially, somehow makes us dumb, slutty, artificial, all this other shit. And they are absolutely abusive to any woman who has them.
Yeah, so this is why I wanted to bring on both Rose and Nix, because as a guy, I can't really like I can speak to how much I like them, how much I like touching them, you know. God, I can't believe I just said that. But I wanted to have women on this panel for a woman's perspective. Rose, you've been great, but I do want to hear from Nix. Nix, what's your perspective on things?
I like boobs.
Okay, that is
that was a very summed up perspective. I'm just saying.
But
no.
Being a bit more serious though, yeah, it definitely usually women who are like the moral panic of like, oh, sexuality, don't have big chests, blah blah blah. It's tiring. As someone who has a big chest, it is. Oh my god.
Don't you love it when they call you a male gaze object, like you're only there for men to look at because you have boobs?
I went to a Catholic school, and this younger girl got away with wearing a backless shirt. The back of it was literally just strapped. But I get in trouble for wearing a tank top.
Because, oh my god, that. And yeah, I actually did that because while it wasn't Catholic, I went to a private religious school for Native kids for a while. So
it was a Catholic school in a backwoods town, not even a town, a village.
Wow.
And they get all upset because we can't wear certain articles of clothing because it can distract men or distract the other students or blah, 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 blah. It's a fucking tank top, dude. This other chick with smaller tits than me is going around in a backless shirt. The fuck is she not in trouble? And she never got in trouble for it.
I'm not in trouble for wearing the actual fucking uniform. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I literally got in trouble for wearing the uniform because they were telling me that you must have done something to alter it to make yourself show off more. It's like, no, I'm wearing your uniform.
Unfortunately, this is something that every woman, I think, in every era has complained about so often, is that no, it's not that we're altering the clothes. It's just our tits. I'm sorry, I can't take my freaking tits off. and shove them in a closet until school's done.
And you know what, Nix? I would bet you if you could take your tits off, you probably would, because those things probably cause you hella back pain.
They do.
Yes.
It's like a curse and a blessing in my family. All the women, essentially all the women, have huge breasts. My mother had to go and get surgery done to reduce her breast size because she was in so much pain.
Ouch.
That is insane.
My
So it's
grandmother,
common in your family.
yeah,
That's
my
actually interesting.
grandmother actually had several different back surgeries. She ended up having to get little bits of the disc taken out because she had so much back pain by the time she was like nearing her 60s.
And that's really interesting to me because in my family, it's kind of the exact opposite. My sister had 5 kids and still barely filled a B cup, for crying out loud. My mom, no, nothing like this. Huge family. None of them are like me. I'm kind of the outlier. And I mean, in a family full of C cup or smaller, I wear a freaking double H to I cup.
Holy shnikey.
Yeah.
I'm in an F cup.
Wait,
I mean,
wait.
we're
Say
in
that
that-
again, Nix, say that again, please.
I'm in an F cup. I have to go for like. It used to. I
Wait,
can't even.
Nix, I gotta play this.
Oh my.
Sorry,
The-
I'm sorry.
The worst thing is
Oh, God.
finding a bra, and I think any bigger-chested woman can agree with me on that because they're either too small or too expensive, and they look
Now-
like crap.
Or they stick those stupid underwires and everything above that's like
Yes.
and above, and they freaking hit you in the middle of the rib cage because your boobs go too far in each direction.
Now this
Yes.
is a question. Now this is a question for the ladies. Like I've dated girls who are big chested, and they've kind of told me how like all the cute bras are C cup and under. Like once you hit D cup, it's all very plain types of bras.
Yes,
Can you ladies speak to that? Please?
Mm,
yes.
yes. I can't even get bras that aren't going to injure me. I basically spend my entire life in minimizing sports bras.
And if you don't, if you want actually cute, like functional bras for bigger-chested women, you have to
I just
pee
get
out the
corsets.
butt.
I just get corsets because bras don't work half the time anyways because the straps make me want to scream out loud.
Fun fact: did you know that before bras were invented, corsets were basically like functioned as bras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And corsets, while they've gotten a bad name because there was a period in history where they were used specifically to make a woman way too skinny, to cram and injure ribs and stuff like that. That's not how they were originally designed. It's not how they were
No.
originally used. And if you use them correctly, they're actually really good for your spine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've watched videos like that. Also, so Parrot Head sent me a picture, and
Oh,
And,
fuck's sakes.
yes, we are gonna share it because Parrot Head did something with my face, and
Oh no.
Parrot Head, god damn you! And yep, the son of a biscuit did it.
Parrot, if you're going to do that, put them on something with a little bit bigger boobs so you can know what it feels like to be me and Nix. I mean,
I mean, if he really wants to, he can put my head on yours.
oh my God, that'd be scary.
Yeah, and you okay? I just opened that bottle. I just pulled the pin on that grenade. All right, let's return to our regularly scheduled Power Girl though.
But like, I don't know. I kind of enjoy this. The whole reason the whole crusade against attractive women in video games, kind of, especially like if they have bigger chests, kind of hits close to home a little because a lot of the time I don't really get to see like, I don't know. It's just it feels kind of like it's degrading me as a person for having an abnormal cup size.
Yes!
Like Tifa Lockhart is one of my first ever like female, not even just like female
Keely, I
crushes.
love you. Keely, God bless you.
She was like, she was kind of my idol for a little while. Like she was gorgeous, confident. She was sweet and kind, and she could kick your ass. if you ever stepped out of line. Tifa to me was like this ideal version of myself that I wanted to reach. And then I go online like a couple years after, and I find out so many people hate her because her chest is too big. Oh no. Say it
Yeah.
isn't so.
Every time they say, "Oh, you're male gazing," I want to punch them in the freaking face.
Yeah,
They
like
treat us like we're objects because we have something, and it's not like we chose it.
And then they go on.
This is gutturally raw. I spent 6 years duct taping them down, trying not to have them.
Nyx, this is for you.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, I just looked up Tifa cosplay for you, and I specifically chose one with bigger cans.
The funny thing is that like you look back at the original like model for Tifa, not like the little tiny chibi ones with like the squares and whatnot, but like in the FMVs or whatever, where they're a bit more human looking, her tits aren't that big.
Well, yeah, a lot of the exaggerated proportions are for legibility purposes. It's why the Buster sword is like 8 feet long, because if he had a normal size sword, people would mistake it as a dagger.
Yeah, but like, and not only that, and
these are my favorite type of boobs. The ones that can poke my eye out.
Great cheese on that.
Like seriously, she doesn't have to be a pistol. She had...
And the women that got offended at that, it's like the only thing offensive about that is that they're boxy. Come on.
Yeah, it's like you gotta love the I love it. better view right there.
Sorry.
Bring back Laura Crossrack. Like this is I love it.
Yeah.
But like this is something that I feel like doesn't get talked about a lot is we don't really talk about female on female bullying, in my opinion. Like the kind of harassment, like people say like, oh, men are harassing women, blah blah blah. I think I would argue, and I kind of have a feeling the women in this panel agree with me, but the free to disagree with me not, is that most of the harassment comes from other women. So am I wrong or am I right?
Yes.
All right, talk about it.
Don't get me wrong, and I'll put the caveat out there. This fake alpha culture has made that there are more men doing it to us now than there used to be, but the majority of abuse has always come from other women. They're the ones. I was freaking 11 years old. I hated them so much. I hated them. And yet I've got these girls, anything from my age to seniors in high school, saying the most vulgar, sexual, derogatory things about me for existing when I didn't even know them.
Yeah, I think something a lot of society doesn't want to talk about is how terrible women are to other women. And they always try to blame it on men. Like, it's always, oh, but you're a sex object and men are going to be objectifying you. No, you're the one who's turning me into that because that's what you think I am.
And I think
you're projecting.
I think a lot of that is it just breaks the narrative. You know, like
it breaks the narrative. They're jealous. You name it. Like, but this is something that I've noticed pretty much all throughout my life, and it's something that I'm sure a lot of other women can attest to. Especially if you're younger, this is something you're going to notice with a bunch of older women. They are going to be petty C-words to you over the weirdest crap. This one girl my cousin used to be friends with, she got a job at a grocery store, and her older co-workers would be really catty and rude with her and would get her in trouble for the weirdest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she's just like this barely about to leave high school little girl who's just trying to like get through life, coming from a bad home. And she's got all these like middle-aged Karen talking crap about her, being passive aggressive or outright aggressive, and it needs to stop. When people, there's a stereotype that women are catty, it's because it's true. Not all women, obviously. But like,
most. Yeah. Fucking hell at most. Fucking hell at, sorry. I'm really picky today. Sorry I'm throwing it this much.
Yeah, just try and keep it to a minimum. I mean, I'm not even gonna try and say don't do it because like that's not gonna happen.
I really have tried. That's why as it starts coming out, I keep going. Sorry, it's like I've been really picky the last few days. It's sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have no idea what started this in our society, in our people in general. Like, why? Like, I don't know. Men aren't really like that with other guys, and I've noticed that. Like, for the most part, if a guy's got a problem, they're just gonna take it outside.
I mean, to be fair, if we're gonna talk about the guy side of things, there is some sort of subtle pressure. Like the thing that I push back on, and this kind of problem for men, is like that. Like this like so many men are like, men need to be stoic. Men need to be stoic and just not show any emotion. You know, it's like, and it's like
the male on male abuse.
Yes, it does. It's I'd say it's even more subtle than the like. I can't speak of the female stuff, but like from an outside looking in perspective, I feel it's even more subtle than the woman on woman one. But I could be wrong in there.
The one I've noticed with. Go ahead,
Chris. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Men are overt, women are subversive. Men generally are the more direct violent in terms of a first response. Men may say in secret that they like you, but in their outward appearance, it's a lot of jibes and insults. But at the end of the day, there is that core, I'm trying to help you, or I'm, when you're with your buddies and you have your bants and your insults at each other, it's part of that male culture. It's testing your strength, because women do not like weakness. And as much as we talk about, showing our vulnerability or whatever, women are far more brutal to men when they show their weakness than men are to men. Because
I will give one caveat to that.
Hold it.
Sorry.
A woman.
One at a time, people. Chris, can you finish your thought, and then Rose, go ahead.
Sure.
Sorry,
sure, yeah.
It sounded like there was a pause here. I think it's a lag.
No. It's okay. I'm the moderator, so I gotta moderate. So Chris, finish your thought, and then your Rose, you're up next.
Yeah, men are generally more direct. Women are generally more indirect. And I'm not trying to take a stab at either sex at that. It's just how we are as a species. And I think a lot of that has to do with physicality, where it doesn't benefit a man to be indirect as much as it does a woman, and vice versa. A woman who is physically direct would get her ass kicked by a man who doesn't give a crap about social norms. And
we're starting to see that on display a lot more as time goes past. Like how many the number of videos coming out, like you see on Twitter, where a woman is like harassing a man, poking him, and the man just like, does that. I'm not saying it's right.
No,
but
not at all.
It's happening more and more.
Yeah, well, the studies have shown that the most violent domestic, the rising, the most and still rising most domestic violence instances come from lesbian couples of all domestic groups, because
almost twice as much as every other group, including gay men.
Yeah, I mean, gay men that was weird.
Speaking of lesbian domestic violence,
can I say the part I was waiting to say? Because my brain's already starting to lose things. What I was going to get at is the caveat with the men are usually not as vicious to each other as women are to them when it comes to having emotions and stuff like that. Is I've seen this a lot with the men who come out as domestically abused, as sex crime survivors from women, or showing emotion when they've been cheated on and ripped off and other stuff by women, is the visceral shit men say about them, to them, the victim blaming, the saying, oh, you can't rape the willing, and ha ha ha, he wanted it, or now you've ruined it for everyone else who she'd touch, or stuff like that is nasty. And it is absolutely inexcusable. It is absolutely disgusting to me to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that is a problem on both sides of the equation. Because like men say really nasty shit, but like women, like when you get women either drunk or in a place where they feel comfortable saying it, women can say some vile ass shit,
Well,
Oh, no
and
doubt.
God.
You give a woman a moment of vulnerability, and that is a sword of Damocles over your head for a lifetime.
I mean,
Men
I remember
do
watching.
not hold that.
I remember watching this this video of this woman,
Most
the female
men.
fighter, was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and where she was dating another fighter, and she attended the guy's fight. And mind you, this is like this. I'm assuming this guy was like a top fighter, like a top fighter, and he was getting into a fight, and he was getting he was losing, and he was on the ground, he was doing all this, and she said, I lost all attraction for him then. He's on the ground getting his ass beat. That guy, the next night, could have gone on and beaten that same guy to a bloody pulp. But because he had that moment of vulnerability, he had lost all attraction to him.
Mhm.
And
I don't like my fellow women for a lot of reasons, and that right there is part of it. It's like the way that they act like all men are supposed to be like completely like brutes, and yet they blame men who are brutes. It's this absolutely Damocles sword over the heads, where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. They say they want this sensitive guy, but the first thing they do is dump him for the most abusive sack of shit that'll maul her around and treat her like an object. And
this is where young boys are let down. And this
Mhm.
this is a where it used to be you had like the father and the mother.
Mhm.
Like the father would make you strong, the mother would make you sensitive. And
Mhm.
by both of you being there, you would be rounded out to be a rounded person who's both strong and sensitive.
Mhm.
That's the way it has been for some time. But now that we've kind of broken that up, and young boys are taught, oh, you need to be nice to women, you need to do all this, and that, and it is completely against what a lot of women like what Robert was saying. Like it's gotten to the point where even the term "nice guy" is viewed as a slur.
Mhm.
Like you say you're a nice guy. Women lose all attraction. Anything they even thought about you is going out the window. And they want to get out of there as quickly as possible.
There is a double-edged sword to that, because part of the reason women do that stuff is when it comes to those of us who have been mistreated, it is a cycle of abuse. You end up drawn to the things that hurt you before, and that's psychological. And I see it with the guys who do this stuff too all the time. So it's something I absolutely have recognized and seen so many times happen to men and women. But you end up in this cycle where you're drawn to the people who've hurt you. So what seems to other people like, oh, she's just a bitch who wants bad boys. It's like, well, no, actually what it is she's been hurt young often, and it draws that. But there's also going back to base instincts. Men are drawn to somebody they feel can be nurturer to the offspring. Women are drawn to somebody they feel can be predatory and strong and provide.
Rose, do you want to see something that will give you nightmare fuel?
Oh, God.
I have another Parrot Head special.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. That one's better than some of his others. You actually blend more into the hairline there.
Parrot Head, I have never looked better. Thank you.
I just
Parrot
wanted
Head.
to put my hands.
That's not even my body, but that looks like my body, especially with how pale it is. I'm feeling really called out right now.
I feel.
Oh my God, Jared! Oh my
You are the one who admitted some crazy shit on my stream with Parrot Head watching, so it's your fault.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun, guys. All right, so just give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
But
Give me a break.
I just want to sum up everything about women's behavior with this pretty perfect Nostalgia Critic quote from his Doug review. Women will pick apart thighs. Thighs.
What? You don't have a thigh gap?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, remember like in the mid teens where like thigh gaps were all the rage?
Oh, yeah.
Now
Yeah,
we realize that thick thighs
I
are
never
where
bought
it's at.
that.
Jared,
And by the way,
any ideas?
most body types, thigh gaps are actually incredibly unhealthy because you're losing enough of the muscle structure. You're not balanced as well.
Yeah.
Because you lose so much muscle to actually get it that you're actually not that strong.
Yeah, it's kind of like that dichotomy of like whenever you see guys in movies.
It's like a poodle.
No, like it's the same oxymoron when you see guys in the Mr. Olympia competitions where it's like you can see all the well-defined muscles.
Oh yeah,
They're literally because they're
Dehydrated.
literally at their weakest. Like, like for example, you know the picture of like Henry Cavill in the bathtub? He had to dehydrate for 3 days. No water for 3 days to do that.
Oof.
It's sickening.
Trying to overgrow muscles to a sickening level, trying to get ultra skinny, neither's healthy. The thing is, part of our problem also goes with, okay, on the right, they're constantly bashing on the body positive movement because it gets ridiculous. However, bashing people for their body types, attacking people's stuff, all this stuff, don't attack a stranger because you don't understand or you don't like their body type because you don't know what caused it. Not every person who's really skinny or really big did something to cause it to themselves. Like, and so just basic, decent human interaction with each other. Try not to be assholes.
Thank you, but like, but yeah, he had to dehydrate for 3 days to get this look.
Wow.
I looks that good anyways. You can see that because you can see because if you look at the edge of the tub that is touching his back, you can actually see it sticking to his skin.
Huh.
You can see it in the shape of the skin there. Dehydration marks.
Ooh.
Me.
Yeah, but let's return to our regularly scheduled Power Girl here. Like that's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling it. Just because, like,
I mean, you got some boobs on screen, anyways. Let's just put it that way.
Can I just say, I am really actually quite happy that we stopped demonizing bigger butt as a society. Like, instead of all the time used to be that I'd see in Hollywood or whatever, be like, oh, does these pants make my butt look big? And now it's like everyone wants a bigger butt.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's funny.
Nix, I have always liked big butts, and I will not lie.
God.
I knew he'd do it. I knew he'd do it.
I had to mix it up a lot, so.
That's it. Me and my tits are going away for a minute.
Oh man. But I would say the whole people started appreciating the butts probably in the 90s is really when that kind of thing came around. And I would say one of the better things about the current thing is probably within the last 5 to 10 years is the whole thickness, where thick thighs save lives kind of thing, and the more thicker bodies have kind of been more accepted to be. Oh, she's back. She's back.
I think that has to do with the lessening of European influence, to be honest. Asian and European influence is waning, and we're seeing more African and Southern American or the brown influence.
There's also the influence because, in the last about decade or so, there's been more of people coming out of the reservations and the native culture and being in Hollywood and music and stuff. They've been there a long time. Even some of the roots of rock and metal come from native music. Some of the roots of country come from it too. But it's becoming more prevalent. Now, I'm going to tell you something.
Uh-oh.
It's not just...
You're kind of breaking up, Nix. Nix, your connection's really bad.
Thing for the...
Nix, we only heard... Eagle Rider. We only heard every other word. Your connection's really bad.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you were breaking up. Whoa.
Oh, we got some stop motion going on here.
Yeah.
All
right, Eagle Rider. I need you to
breaking up.
I need you to sort that.
Any issue with the signal here?
Eagle Rider. Take a few minutes to look into that, and while we do that, I want to hear from Nix. So I'm going to mute you, Eagle. When you're ready, let me know. All right, so Nix, you're on.
Hi, sorry, just 1 sec. Sorry, I had to go and deal with something very quickly.
No, it's okay.
Where were we? Sorry.
We were talking about the large butts and how it's coming back into fashion.
I love this stream, guys. This is my favorite stream we've done ever. I'm already saying that right now. By the way, if you've made it this far, for the sake of big butts and big boobs, please comment, and subscribe. Nick,
Well, I mean, as a woman with a very big butt, I'm very happy. I mean, I always knew it was like, I always knew it was cool to have more junk in the trunk, but like, it's nice that Hollywood caught up finally.
yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's clearly it's a cultural thing. It's not always a biological. Like the way that I've looked at it, I mean, we could go through the anthropological route and look at things like one of the earliest cave sculptures, like the Venus of Willendorf, which was literally an obese woman with very large breasts. And that was considered the pinnacle of fertility and beauty. And then you look at like some European, especially around the Renaissance, where the plump, pale woman was considered attractive, and what that culturally represented was somebody that was lacked the muscle definition and or muscle tone and sun-stained skin from being out in the fields, because they were rich enough to, or luxurious enough to not have to be physically, physically dependent upon their livelihood.
Also, that's actually a really good thing you mentioned, Chris, about like wealth indicators. So being fat, because like food used to be so scarce and so expensive.
Yep.
Being fat was a sign of wealth and privilege, because you were rich enough to. Also, can we get some recognition for like the GIF I have put on right now?
Cool.
Extra thick. But like, so it's like, you know, it used because like you were rich enough to afford good food and lots of it. Nowadays, it's flipped. It's flipped on its head. Because food is so plentiful and access to it is so plentiful, it's actually a sign of wealth and privilege to be both thin and fit. You know, like look at any like rich hot girl. You always see her in athletic wear. You'll always see her, you know, she'll be skinny. She's always talking about fitness and like eating right now, because here's a dirty little secret that like we don't like to acknowledge. Eating right and eating healthy is fucking expensive.
Yep. Well, that and going to the gym. Like if you're working 2 jobs to pay rent, and you know you're barely scraping by, and you're 24 hours in a day are occupied with survival, the gym is a luxury. And
even if you are lucky and you work at like a physically demanding job, like say you're a construction worker, and you're thin, you're not going to be like fit. You're not going to be cut. You know what I'm saying? Like the kind of muscle definitions that a lot of these guys have, or let's say you're a woman who works at like a more physically demanding job where it's like you can be thin. You know, like some of these women can afford to go to the gym, or men or whatnot, and so it's a sign of wealth and privilege to be able to work out like that.
Yeah, and also on top of that, I mean, you can look in. It started in the 1970s. In America, at least, and it's now like a plague, or like cancer has metastasized across the whole planet. But they've introduced poisonous chemicals into our food now, where if you are looking at the poor, most of them live in a nutrition desert where they're eating almost nothing of nutritional value and are just becoming morbidly obese on sugar and very poisonous chemicals. You know, like things like high fructose corn syrup they talk about, you know, the whole corn subsidies thing. Well, corn is a very dense starch, and it is, you know, you can contribute like a lot of things like diabetes and colon cancer can actually be linked to the consumption of excessive amounts of sugar in corn. And I mean, hell, a rattlesnake can't even digest corn, and it's got one of the most complex digestive systems out there. And unfortunately, like you said, the things have flipped. The rich people are able to afford the non-poisonous foods, or at least are in a knowledge of you know, they have this understanding of, okay, what foods can be tainted and what can't. And I hate to say it, but processed foods, that's killing everyone, man.
It is.
Like,
yeah.
I wanted to comment first on the comment in chat, but also to that a little bit, because basic eating healthy, if you can eat a lot of the cheap veggies and all that stuff, isn't expensive. If you have food sensitivities, if you have food allergies, if you have really specific dietary restrictions, which a lot of medical conditions have, it is expensive. Holy crap, like people have no idea. And that's what I deal with every day. And that's why I talk about that. But it's also it's incredibly taxing to try to deal with that constantly and try to avoid things. And corn, bless our hearts, maize in the old days. It was not what corn is today. It's been so overprocessed, so altered, so chemically and genetically altered. Maize itself, traditional corns, the like blue corn and rainbow and that, were not that actually hard to digest. Just like if you can get the actual heirloom ones that don't have all the toxic and altering in them, they're not that bad on your body. But they've changed it so much; it's become such a toxic plant. And remember, I'm in Iowa saying that, so I'm talking shit about the state.
Eat right, eat right, everybody. Eat right.
Well, also to lend something to the digestive disorders and the food intolerances that have come out, a lot of that can be traced to the, from the 1970s, the transition to the when the FDA betrayed us and started putting in these toxic chemicals into our foods. Certain type like celiac sprue or celiac disease, the people who have a high intolerance to wheat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's links to a lot of the processed foods and a lot of the artificial, the artificial carbs or whatever. I can't remember what the term was, but it was a certain types of grains and wheats and stuff that have been chemically altered. And that's where we're getting people who have celiac disease, which is an inflammatory.
A lot of it, yes. Well, like I said, there's always been some exceptions for people. Even you read a historical text, they talk about these people who clearly had these autoimmune issues, even in the old days. But it used to be so much rarer before we had all these toxins. My issues with all these things, my food sensitivities, my allergies that are everywhere, all that came from an allergic reaction to a tainted shot as a child.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So can we clear something up? If you don't have celiacs, if you don't have an allergy to gluten, is gluten eating gluten? Is it healthier, or is it just it doesn't affect you if you don't have the allergy?
It doesn't affect people as much, but it's not really a healthy thing to eat.
Well, yeah, gluten is basically it's persistent in almost everything we eat that's not a fruit or most vegetables, and it's clearly not in meat. But any kind of bread or cereal will have gluten in it, or most, I should say. And it's the same thing with lactose intolerance. Most Europeans, have a higher tolerance to lactose than non-Europeans because of the race of milk drinkers or whatever. But ultimately,
Africans aren't too sensitive to it either.
Well, they're sensitive to dairy, to cow dairy, not goat or.
They're not as sensitive to dairy overall.
But but ultimately, we shouldn't be drinking cow's milk the way we do, because every person eventually becomes lactose intolerant. As we get older, our tolerance for these proteins from bovine milk or whatever, the way that it breaks down in your stomach will eventually give you problems. So that's where a lot of gas comes from.
Well, the amount with the amount of milk that I drink, I don't think I have to worry about that. So
yeah, well, I guess in a sense, the older you are with drinking milk, or I should say, the fewer problems you have as you get older. Drinking milk signifies your higher amount of European descent. Like for me, for example, I've got Asian descent. So yeah, I turned 13 and yeah, I'm not drinking milk.
Well, here's the thing about me. I am very heavy European descent. So
yeah,
and the thing is, I've always been a lifelong milk drinker. Like I've always drunk a heavy amount of milk throughout my life. So it's kind of like a double hit of my genetics are naturally disposed to it, but also the fact that I've drunk it a lot throughout my life definitely helps.
Yeah, I was gonna say my mom very European, very Irish, and even in her late 60s, milk actually reacts positively to her. Always has. It's easier for her than trying to get calcium other ways, and she drinks it constantly. It doesn't cause her any issues. I've reacted negatively to milk and dairy since I was little with the native side. So I mean,
I was lactose intolerant as a baby.
Yeah.
Went in through this period where I ended up not being lactose intolerant, and then ever since I turned 18, I've just been lactose intolerant again.
Oh man,
guys,
that's actually not an uncommon cycle.
We're gonna take a quick break. We got to discuss something we gotta like kind of talk about something that benefits me for a moment, and then we will get back to the.
Oh
boobs.
my god.
Well, going from one set of boobs to another. Oh, I probably should have stared at my screen. That it would have worked better. All right, Screecher. We're still on the boobs discussion. Just now they're gone.
Oh,
Now we're talking about
yeah,
the boobs we
dude.
drew. Remind me.
Dude,
All
you're
right.
almost funded.
Almost. All right, everybody. So
It didn't go up during the stream. It did go up right after it, though, when you came to my stream.
Yeah, it did. Look at how much it has gone up. Like, dear God, you guys are like, I woke up to this and I'm like, holy crap.
Hallelujah.
I did send it to a few people. I will tell you that.
Rose, I love you. So thank you. All right, so this is like the end of week 1. Okay.
Yeah. Week 1 out of 4.
Yeah. So we are literally 75% funded. We are $181 away from it. Yes, thank you. So if you have not backed the project yet, let me just kind of copy that, and then I'm posting that in the chat. So paste.
Can we get you to slap yourself again, since I know a couple of the people that I sent this to backed you for me?
All right. Here's what's gonna happen. Okay. So if you back it on the stream, not only will I slap myself, I will allow you to come on the stream for 5 minutes and talk whatever the frick you want to talk about. You want to talk about my boobs? You want to talk about her boobs? You want to talk about Screecher's boobs? Go right the frick ahead. Dear God. Hey all, Peter Venkman fan site. So here, let me just kind of put things in perspective. All right. So the last campaign, Turn Samurai number 4, was 1,300. We got that in a week and a half. Okay. If this was Screecher number 1, we would have already been funded, because the Screecher number 1 was 1,300. So we technically funded Screecher number 1 already. So you guys, give yourself a round of applause for that. Give yourself a round for applause.
Hell yeah.
Wait, I gotta do this. Peter Venkman fan site, let's get dangerous.
If you can get me a way to get a hold of your stuff without using Kickstarter, I will buy it. I'm just not using a site where I can't track my funds well.
Yeah. If I get a call by Greg Berlanti, I'll let you guys know. So obviously it's a question of if, not of if, but when. All right. And first off, I wanted to say thank you guys to everyone who have gotten me far. Thank you guys for doing all this. You guys are fucking awesome, first and foremost.
You could trick me on that word.
I'm minimizing my curse words. I didn't say we couldn't.
I know, I'm just giving you crap.
Thank you, Keely. So I just wanted to talk about. So if we do get funded, that is not the end of this journey. We have stretch goals. Stretch goals. All right, wanted to kind of touch upon the
stretch it. I mean,
you know, ladies love when they get stretched.
Whoa! Yeah.
I love how Rose gave me the look of like, well, he's not wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a sweet innocent angel. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. So, all right, here we go. So at 2,000, if we get to $2,000, which I think we probably will, I think we can probably get to $2,000. Also, like, comment, subscribe, people. You know, whatever. 6 a.m. We'll do a. Wait, I'm scrolling through this and nothing's happening on the screen. So, let me try this again. All right. Let me
get a screenshot.
All right. There we go.
Yay.
Okay. Nothing. Yes, exactly. Like, you want to talk about boobs?
I'm sweet, innocent, pure, noble, and nobody can say otherwise.
Like, you want to talk about some boobs? Like, look at the knockers on. Like, okay, this is getting bad.
Check it out.
Oh my God. I'm checking out my own characters.
How you doing?
What the frick is wrong with me, guys?
Hard up for sex? I mean,
yeah.
Damn, I just went there. Shit.
Oh dear God.
Mwah.
Mr. X has it right. You know, he regrets nothing. But anyway, back onto this. So at $2,000, we'll be getting a sticker done by 6 a.m. And this is what he did for Screecher, and he just does an amazing job. So at $2,500, I'm kind of just running through this because like people want to get back to the boobs. I understand. We'll be doing a line art book, you know, just like the black and white line art. And at $3,000, Joanne Sontag will do a new cover.
Oh, hell yeah.
Woo!
Reaper Destroyer.
The question is when you're going to hire me to work on any of this for you.
That is true. All right, Death Wish, since you did do $100, I will slap myself just because you gave me $100. You did it earlier today, but all right.
Oh no, take the glasses off. Oh.
Death Wish, that was for you. And if anyone else donates $100 on this stream, I will slap myself. But if you donate anyway, I'll just let you on the stream for 5 minutes. But since Death Wish did do $100, I did that for her. And ow.
There's something really gratifying about watching a guy slap himself. I don't know what it is.
I'm not going to kink shame you, so.
It's not a kink because it's not that kind of gratification.
All right, back to your regularly scheduled Power Girl.
He's like, I'm moving away from this conversation now.
Yeah, like we went from eight people to 5, so I just want to get back to the boobs as soon as possible. So anyway, what like do you think any of this hate from like smaller chested women comes from jealousy? Comes from like
yeah.
Yes.
All right, talk about that.
I don't really know what to talk about on it, but
I mean,
it's definitely there.
It's pretty obvious because it's always. I'm sorry. It's always like these girls who don't get asked out much, or are my age and not married, and they don't have much chest, or they're spinsters now or something. It's always women like that. It's not curvy girls who are saying this shit usually. And I will say there is a segment in the curvy community who shames flat chests, and I have a problem with that side too. But
Peter Venkman fan site. Why are you jealous of small boobs? Like, I'm sure it's not like anything overly negative, but like, I want to hear what you have to say about that. Like, what is it? What are you jealous of? I'm kind of curious.
I'm jealous of the nicer bras.
And Peter Venkman, if fangirl, if you do want to come on here, let me know, and I'll shoot you the invite.
Well, yeah, like the thing that bothers me is when I see otherwise attractive women who are pressured by Hollywood's weirdness to vandalize their natural bodies, to acquiesce to some bizarre standard that wasn't even set by
the
men.
boys, the Starlight actress.
Yeah, Starlight. Like, well, here's the thing: is like I knew somebody that worked in the adult entertainment industry, and she had a kid, and she was telling me about like. So first of all, don't get breast implants. I don't care if you're part of the itty titty bitty committee or if you are, trying to get into whatever. Those things are at best in your body for 10 years, and it's a temporary thing, and they constantly have to pull them out and put in new ones. You are injuring yourself, every few years or whatever for this weird aesthetic that appeals to a very small percentage of the population.
All right.
We'll do an exemption to that to women who are replacing things from having it removed medically and stuff.
Yeah, mastectomies. Yeah.
All right. So here's a picture of Starlight from season 1. She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Like she is absolutely gorgeous. Now let's look at a picture of her from season 3. Oh dear God, what the fuck have they done?
Yeah, lip injections and
Like look at that. She looks like
I thought it was just lighting at first.
Yeah,
Jesus
look at
Christ.
the eye tucks. Like, yeah, look at that.
God.
That is. And the thing is she lashes out at men about this, about how it's the male, male gaze and all this stuff. And it's like, honey, you're surrounded by a bunch of evil Hollywood parasites telling you
look at
what
that.
men want.
Look like, oh my God. Like,
yeah,
she was legitimately gorgeous in season 1. Like, even her, like she's more dolled up in makeup, but she still looks good. Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad for her because she's clearly been brainwashed by the
Yep.
whole, oh, it's the male gaze. No, no,
Exactly.
none of your audience are begging you to go out and literally mutilate your face for them.
Exactly.
That's Hollywood. That's
and do you
all
remember?
Hollywood.
Do you remember the meme of like before and after feminism thing?
Oh God, yeah. It's the same thing. It's that body mutilation for some ideology. You know, it's the same thing with aging women in Hollywood. Like, age gracefully, you know?
Like, look at
Exactly.
this. Look at this.
Let's look
shit.
at examples of aging gracefully versus not. I will use two country singers. Dolly is not aging gracefully. If you've seen how much plastic surgery she's had recently, she looks like she can blink her lips. It's not attractive, and I feel bad for her because she's got a big heart. She's a good person, but she's been so brainwashed.
This
she's been so brainwashed.
Yeah.
That she's doing all this stuff.
You remember when Adele decided she wanted to lose weight?
Yeah,
and everyone
she
flipped their shit.
The other example I was going to use was Reba McEntire. Look at her recently. She's not doing all the plastic surgery. She's campaigning against women doing plastic surgery. She's in her late 60s. She's stunning. She still looks like she's this hot woman in like 40.
This is Chrissy Brinkley, okay? She still looks great. I think she's probably had some work done, but like not as much as probably anyone else.
And there's
look
nothing
up the
wrong
recent
with
pictures
gray
of Reba.
hair
I'm
either.
not kidding. She's so freaking gorgeous in her old age.
Dude, there's
like,
nothing
unfair.
wrong with gray hair. There's nothing wrong with wrinkles. This is
Look at
a
her
natural
recently
age.
still.
Like, people naturally age, and when they force artificiality, the uncanny valley gets tripped.
That's not bad. Like,
she looks nice.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, she made
Looks
a
like an
big
older
deal. She
woman,
was
yeah.
hosting this show. She does not look anywhere near her age. But she was hosting this country awards that she hosted when she was young, in her 20s, when she was starting her career. And she made this big deal about showing women that if you're taking care of yourself, you don't have to do all this artificial crap. She came and re-hosted again in the same dress she did the first time without altering it.
Okay. To be fair, Reba is not just rich, but she's also famous. She can afford to live a lifestyle that can take care of herself. So
she does also work with people to show them how to do it on a budget and stuff like that and help them. I give her that credit. I like her more than most rich people because she's not so pretentious. She thinks anybody can do what she does.
Hooded, you backed on the stream? Like you backed while we are doing it? Let me kind of check real quick here. Because if he backed on the stream, then he can come on. I just wanted to check.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Yep. We do have a new backer. Hooded. Thank you so much. You know, we're closing in here. Maybe we can get funded on the stream if that happens.
Well, how long do you want to keep this stream going?
Dude, look at that green line, man. It's almost all green.
All right, guys, give me. Okay. Here's the thing. If I can get funded on the stream, what should I do? So we need to come up with something crazy. Nothing too embarrassing, but like crazy. What do you guys think? And chat, give me suggestions. I'm open to this.
I have to throw out most of my ideas instantly because you said nothing too crazy or embarrassing. So now I really have to think about it. Damn.
Embarrassing, but not too embarrassing. Like, I'm not going to twerk on camera. Not again.
Again? Wait. Okay. How's this? Since you did beat backers and I got a few backers, should I tell the story I was teasing with the other day?
If I get funded.
No, we should do on the theme of slapping.
It's a good
we should
story.
Put you...
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, on the theme of slapping, you should sign up for that Russian sport, the one that Charlie White commented. You know what I'm talking about? Where the Russian dude like slapped the soul out of that poor man.
Well, the story I have does involve a form of slapping. So,
okay, this one actually. Tell you what. See, the thing is, like, I'm I'm on my couch right now, but like, I'm trying to think. Like, here's what I could do. All right, if I get funded on stream, all right, I could put I could dump cold water over my head. I don't have any ice on me, but I do have like some cold water. I could dump that over my head because like I'm trying to figure like what could I do, that would be funny to see. Because I don't want to like
if we keep talking about boobs, you're gonna need a cold shower anyways. I mean,
that is true. Oh. Okay. You guys keep thinking about this. If any suggestions, let me know. And then anyone else wants to donate, the $100 donations, I will slap myself. But Mr. Hooded, if you do want to come on for 5 minutes, let us know and I will send you the link. You have earned that right. But anyone else, if you donate $100, I will slap myself.
well, if you're willing to stall this stream long enough to make it worth it, I can click the button, stream it to my audience, and try to drag more people in.
Yeah, let's do this. I can go for at least another hour or two. So
let's go for it. Let's have a little fun with it.
Okay. Okay, we're doing this. We're doing it. All right, guys. Guys in the stream, if you could tweet this out and whatnot. Let's get funded. Let's get this fucker funded.
Woohoo!
Let's go.
We are less than $150 away from being
Let's
funded.
do this shit. So now you are on 2 of my channels. So
and if anyone else wants to restream, they are welcome to. They have that option. So yeah, let's go
back to boobs. I mean,
yes, let's return to our regularly
scheduled debauchery.
I was gonna say regularly scheduled power girl. I'm making that a catchphrase right now. Regularly scheduled power girl.
I hate bras.
While we were talking about really bad surgeries, just look to Madonna.
Oh God,
one
yeah.
example of someone who could not age gracefully to save her life and had to get
be
all the work done.
Yeah,
okay,
that
to
is
be
a perfect
fair,
example.
I think her ego got in the way when everyone started making fun of her showing up to the awards show with her ass in a sling, trying to hold it up like it was when she was young. Because it was after everyone made fun of that she started doing all the plastic surgery like crazy.
Yeah.
And I can't stand Madonna. I say that as just trying to look at it from the other side, purely. Because I absolutely revile her. I have since I was a child.
I don't mind Madonna. I definitely did not grow up with her. I grew up with Hillary Duff, honestly. And then she kind of dropped off to marry a hockey player. Good on her.
How old are you?
26.
Oh my God, I feel old now.
But you know,
to be fair, I also listened to Hillary Duff in high school, though I'm weird.
I was gonna say Madonna actually.
Deathwish, go right ahead. But
Madonna,
go ahead, talk. No, go ahead, Eagle Rider.
Madonna came out when I was very little. And they'd play her on radio, they'd play her on the TV and stuff. And my mom talked about she had the radio that she used to try to let us to sleep. It was basically one of the only devices we had in the house because we had no money, we had nothing. We were very third world in most of our upbringing. She had one little crappy radio that somebody gave her that she used to try to get me to sleep. And she'd leave it on radio stations. And when I was a year and a half old and Madonna would come on the radio, the first time she came on, I screamed and shut it off. The second time she came on, I was across the room. I screamed, "Icky Donna," ran across the room and shut it off.
Wow.
So I've never liked this woman. Had a little context.
I heard her when she was a dancer in New York City. Her roommates threw her out because she stunk.
Have you guys actually watched the movie they did on Weird Al called Weird?
Yes. Michigan, since Madonna was born and raised in Michigan, we disown her.
Yeah. We do not claim the no, I remember
Michigan does not claim Madonna.
Well, anybody who does needs to be checked for STDs. I mean, sorry.
No,
anyway,
no,
continue.
Yeah, as a child of the 70s and 80s, I was a young kid, but I was cognizant of the world when Madonna came on, because she kind of she rode the MTV generation wave.
Thank you for
like-
having somebody in this stream that's actually older than me, by the way. I mean,
How old are you, Rose?
in a couple months I'll be 40.
Okay, I'm not too far behind. I'm 35. In a couple months I'll be 36.
Youth is wasted on the young.
Who is that about?
And experience is wasted on the old.
Yes,
I mean that is the response to that phrase. Come on,
Yep.
that is
Yeah, age does not necessitate wisdom.
And youth does not guarantee ingenuity.
Yeah,
or whatever. Sorry, I'm sorry, but like you're quoting I think Skyfall, and like that's one of my favorite James Bond movies. So
no, I remember when the MTV scene started, and Madonna was there, and and then they had like they called her the knockoff Madonna, which was Cyndi Lauper, which I actually liked more.
Oh,
yeah, like way more.
Yeah, Time After Time is one of my favorite songs, but just the that whole aesthetic, and then the whole, if you recall, in the 90s she had like the Vogue, express yourself and all that, and then the documentary and all that. I actually liked her in A League of Their Own. I thought she did a great job in that.
Yeah, she had a pretty good run as an actor in like the 80s, like Dick Tracy,
Yeah.
Vida. Also, if we're talking about Madonna, we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
I saw. By the way, I saw this live. I was actually watching the VMAs when this happened. By the way, they cut it off. By the way, they cut it off. She actually did kiss Christina Aguilera as well. I saw that live.
Yep.
God, I'm old. I'm old. By the way, that was 20 years ago. Just think about that. That's 2003. That was 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
Been like 6.
Is it bad that you played that clip and I'm thinking hose of a feather flock together?
Yeah.
Just to put in that perspective, okay. But this, if that moment were to happen in 1993, like if we were talking about this in 1993 and it happened 20 years prior to that, that would have been 1973.
Mm-hmm.
Or the era where things like Stairway to Heaven were the radio world.
Yeah, just to give some context, like we think, 20 years ago, it's not that far, but like it actually is. It's crazy.
Quit reminding me how old I'm getting. Damn you!
I know it breaks my heart. Like the older you get, the faster your perception of time occurs. An event, like, because the closer you get to the edge of the drain, the faster you spin. So yeah,
Thanks.
20 years.
Jeez, really wonderful way to say that.
Well, I mean that's the mortal coil. I mean we're all part of it. Enjoy the ride. But like it sucks when I look back at things and I have those like nostalgia pings where I'm like, if I wish time was a geographic location I could go back to, and there's just like my home doesn't exist anymore where I lived. The town I lived in doesn't look like the town I lived in anymore. It's all gone, and I'd love to just be able to. And I think that's why we see so much of this like 80s kick in like things like Stranger Things and all the nostalgia, because a lot lot of people my age kind of feel that way.
He's making me want to hang myself on air. Just saying.
Yes. Yeah. No, just kidding.
I already have enough issues with my age, knowing my medical issues, and now I'm supposed to be able to live. So
here's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are in charge of making these shows are all Gen Xers. Okay.
Yep.
And the problem is 90s never really had a chance to shine. Like there were some brief moments where 90s it was getting to the point where 2000s nostalgia is starting to take off. And yes, 2000 nostalgia is a thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I miss that era of fashion.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, translucent everything, like oh my God, I gotta go. Guys, talk for a second. I gotta go grab something.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the reason why the 90s wasn't as nostalgic, even though, like, I grew up in the 90s as well, but like it was because we had like grunge, and when grunge came in toward the late part of the decade, it made being depressing cool. Like it made like
grunge.
Actually, a little earlier than that.
Yeah, a lot earlier. Grunge.
Well, the early 90s had Pearl Jam and
Yeah, it's
No.
like the late 90s was when actually they started getting all the upbeat rock as a response to the grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, well,
Okay.
that
I
is
need to
true,
talk.
yeah.
I need to talk. So Nevermind came out in September of 91.
Mhm.
Okay, and that is considered the death, like that is the death nail of the 80s. The 80s
Yep.
died when Nevermind came out. Like
Yep.
that is a pretty well consensus.
Disco sucks
Okay.
era.
And basically grunge died with Kurt Cobain, like 94. So you had the post-grunge era, which was like 94, 95, 96. And then around 97, 98 is when new metal and like when the
Yep.
rap rock came about.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, the emo rock movement of like the late 2000s is basically all the people who grew up on Nirvana wanted to do their thing again. Like, that's why every emo rock band of that time did a Nirvana cover. Like, I don't know if you noticed that, like Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
In that sense, like everyone was doing a Nirvana cover at that time. And everyone was talking about how they're inspired by Nirvana. Like, emo rock is people showing of who loved like grunge doing that thing, and then the post grunge was all the other bands trying to be the next Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, emo had a lot of influence from both grunge, but also a lot of the early goth and punk and stuff too. So it kind of, which is why it got so grating to some people, is because when you start combining all of these kind of depressing genres into one, it does get a little whiny and depressing.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say, I think the emo movement also were influenced by the early 2000s post-punk revival movement you had kind of going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's really sad though about grunge is there's only one surviving frontman to grunge bands, and that's Eddie Vedder. Every other grunge band, everybody's died, and a lot of it was because a lot of those songs came from drug addictions. You know, Kurt Cobain had black tar heroin. Lane Staley from Alice in Chains had his problems. Guy from Stone Temple Pilots there, Scott Weiland. Drugs.
Yeah, he lasted a good while though. He died, but he had a lot of problems.
Yeah, he was
part
fighting.
of that's the music style and why it was inspired to them and why they were drawn to it. It was dark art, music, stuff like that is often an inspiration of our hearts letting go of trauma, stress, pain, and stuff like that. So a lot of people doing it have more problems they're dealing with in the day-to-day life too.
But also the other thing is the music industry enables behavior. Like, I don't know if you know, but like Aerosmith were big cokeheads.
Oh yeah.
And the music label would literally bury it in their budget. Like, they'd have a cocaine budget for them. Because the whole thing, like, you're no fun when you're sober. Like, it's like, oh man, he can only really create, like, man, he's sober, but he's creating crap music. Then somebody get that fucker some heroin.
No junk, no soul.
Because you mentioned Aerosmith, do you know why they actually broke up for several years, about a decade or so ago?
Didn't one of them get clean?
That's the long and short of it. Okay, it started with Steven Tyler cleaned up his life a lot. He really wanted to be a better father and grandfather and stuff, so he really cleaned up his life. Then they were actually doing a headline show for Sturgis for the opening night of the rally. And he tried to do his kick show in a very dark arena, thinking he had a wider stage than it was. It was a catwalk. He ended up falling off the catwalk, doing the splits and landing in the concrete. He had to be helicoptered out medically. And his bandmates left him when he checked himself into rehab to make sure he didn't get re-addicted because of the painkillers.
That's
Wait, are we talking about Steven Tyler? Because I know Joe Perry left the band in the 80s for a short time.
That's why they had the recent breakup for several years, because the bandmates basically abandoned him when he was going through that recovery from that injury and the rehab from it.
Why did they abandon him? Because they were afraid he was going to get on painkillers again?
Because he checked himself into rehab and canceled their tour, and they didn't want that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. I watched all this stuff happen in real time because this all happened around Sturgis and around where I grew up and where my family is. And I watched it happening in real time and playing out. I had family members who were in the show when they watched him fall off the catwalk.
What?
Oh my God.
That's to me, that shows you the culture it is. You are encouraged to do this stuff if it means you're going to perform and you're going to do what you're supposed to. They would rather you perform than you actually take care of your health.
Like another story. John Belushi. You know, we all know he had his problems,
Mhm.
and a doctor told him like, okay, you can either get him clean or you can try and get as many movies as you can out of him before he croaks. They chose the latter.
Wow. Well, human
Yeah.
life is when you ever pitch human life against profit, profit always wins.
It's the same thing they did, honestly, if you look at how they treated John Candy and Chris Farley with their eating issues and their drug issues. They did the same thing. They pushed them to do more and more roles and play more parts and do more stuff before they got too ill and died. And that's part of what killed them.
I mean,
That's why they both died quite young.
To be fair, it's also a societal problem. We as a society, we love to build people up, watch them fall, and then mourn them when they die. Look at Michael Jackson, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone here, like I'm sure, like yes, I'm sure there's other components to it. Like yes, there's probably a racism component to Michael Jackson. Because yeah, like you know that initially they didn't want Michael Jackson on MTV. Like they didn't want a black man on MTV. So I think like some of his earlier videos were on BET.
Yep.
But after he really started
the
blow
wall.
up, yeah. And so after he blew up, they put him on there. But like initially, they didn't want to put him on there because you know black, you know whatever. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of his problems were because he was a black artist that was successful. You know,
It's a shame,
No.
man, because yeah, he was one of the greats.
Well, let's look at what happened with Jimi Hendrix, because we all know how tragic his life was anyways.
Mhm.
Part of the
died
stuff that's not,
choking on his own vomit.
part of the stuff that's not talked about is part of his depression, and part of why he got into the drugs was because they were manipulating him and sales stuff. And there's actually interviews that with his sister that talk about this. He was only part black, and they intentionally were altering his image publicly and changing his photos and blackening his photos to make him look like he was more true African. He was mostly native. He grew up on the res, and they were actually trying to wipe that history from him. And they got mad at him when he wore the native clothes to things like Woodstock and stuff. They didn't want him to do that. And so it was destroying him that they were trying to take part of his culture from him to push this rock is black image that they were pushing in music at that era. And that's part of what tore him apart. And it's not addressed because it was about money. It was about pushing certain racial agendas, and it didn't matter if it was true or not.
Yeah, and a lot of these artists, they reach a point where they're worth more dead than alive. You know, so they might be like, okay, we have enough of your back catalog. You can die now, you know, and we'll just profit off the rest of you for the next 30, 40, 50 years. I'll bring it back to Nirvana. Even though they only put out 2 albums, Nevermind still sells, I think, at least 50 to 100,000 copies a year, roughly.
Oh yeah.
Because the industry prefers you to die young rather than become a has-been that nobody cares about.
Peter Pan syndrome.
Yeah. Well, that and creativity best blossoms under suffering.
It
when
does.
somebody makes it, your creativity goes. You have to be hungry and in pain. And it's a sucky thing to think about, but look at all of the great art, and it all came from people who were suffering.
And I'm just sitting here thinking I've been an artist my whole life, and you're just summing it up really easily in that statement.
Like for example, Emily, like look at the story of Emily Dickinson. You know, her whole life she made poetry. No one even knew about it. If it literally, if it wasn't for like the people cleaning out her house that saw it, like they could have just thrown away all that work, and we'd have never known. We'd have never known it even existed. And now Emily Dickinson is considered one of the greatest poets ever.
Yep.
And she never knew it. She never knew that, Van Gogh obviously is like the quintessential poster child of that.
Yep.
There's so many of these artists where, do you know the story of like the Vivian Childs, there's a Down the Rabbit Hole episode where they talk about like this one guy. We got Bone.
Hey.
Rose.
Hi, hey Bone.
But like there's a Down the Rabbit Hole episode where this guy created all these amazing works, these paintings, these books, these novels, and no one even knew about it. He was just a janitor in a hospital and never found it until after he died or something. It was insane.
Wow.
This goes a little to what I sent you right when we were getting ready to stream, when we were discussing the differences in music and poetry and why they inspire the heart. I sent you something. Most of you, even though I have had some publishing under different names, would most of you know that I've been writing and producing and things since I was 11?
Yeah. Like,
most
Kurt
of
Cobain
us.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
By the way, the artist I was talking about is Henry Darger. That's who I was talking about. I'm going to. All right. So there's the Down the Hole Rabbit Hole episode. Actually, let's do a poetry reading. Let's turn this into a poetry reading. I feel. I'm going to go grab something, guys. Yep, right here it is. Dear God, I've held this on to this for so fucking long. All right. Some of the stuff I've kind of shared here and there, but all right. This is my poetry book from high school. Okay?
Oh, geez.
So I'm going to read to you some of my poems from, these are dating back to like 2005, 2006, 2007, era.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Oh, dear. It's just like, all right, and then Rose, any of you guys who got any poems you want to share, feel free to.
I'm thinking about that. Because it's also a matter of what I can actually reach from where I'm sitting. 'Cause I can't get up right now.
All right. So here we go. This one's called Dreams. A dream is just a dream, whether you're awake or still sleeping. The difference between a dream and what's real is a choice to make them real. The difference is slight, but in the depths of insanity, who can really tell? But when you choose to act, you are also choosing your fate. It may only be once, but after that, the slope gets very slippery. Once you're down, you may never get back up, but if you somehow do, people will never look at you the same again. So walk the line for all I care, but remember this, what's right, what's wrong, isn't always clearly determined. Yeah, and this one's called Up or Down. I'm at the top of the hill. I can choose to go up or down. If I go up, I may never look down. But on the other hand, the second option isn't all that great. We all have choices to make. Some way we must decide, up or down. With either decision on the table, it may take only forever or just a second. For that moment, we decide who we are, what path will guide us to our perpetual doom. I'm just like, yeah, these are yeah, this is like high school Nick, by the way. So just kind of keep that in mind. The world isn't always black and white. It's always the shades of gray that are never seen, never heard, never even acknowledged. Why, you say? The world's always tried to put us in some sort of pigeonhole, put us where we don't belong, so they can mold us, shape us into what we truly don't want to be. If you need proof, just look at the thousands of girls starving themselves so they can be corporate America's vision of beauty. Yeah, this was 2006, Nick. I am just trying to reiterate, like, this is like vintage Nick. Oh, this is a good one. You might like this one, Chris. What makes a man, either the size of his toys, the way he carries himself, or is it something else? Personally, I don't know, but I have a theory. What makes a man has nothing to do with outside appearances. It's truly what's inside that counts. When a boy decides to lay down his toys and do what he thinks is right for himself or others, whether it's joining the army or going to work at Hooters, it doesn't really matter. Being a man is a state of mind. Wow, my poetry's actually getting people here. A rose is a rose. A thorn is a thorn. But can they be one and the same? In this analogy, yes. But the truth is always will be in question. Okay, this one's called change. Change can be good. Change can be bad. But change is necessary for all of us to shine. We may accept it, but we may try to fight it. So none of us have the right to go against the stream. We wish we had the gift of sight to see the light, so that we just might feel the winds of our newborn kin. We wish it were, we wish it was, but neither can stay the same. We have to change. Oh, okay, this one's okay, Mr. X has a palate cleanser here. Art is suffering. Boobs cause pain. Boobs are art confirmed.
There may be footage of me grabbing my boobs screaming these are art on stream, but that's a whole other thing.
Mr. X, this is for you.
Of course!
Remember that woman who broke the guy's neck, the stripper who dropped her quadruple H's or whatever on his head?
No, but I kind of want to see that now.
So you want me to go ahead and read you the one I was trying to share earlier?
I got one more for you. This is a short one where I try to get in the head of a bully. Okay. See my height, behold my might. We have to fight. Some wish it wouldn't be, but those people cannot see that I have to be me. I never was, I never will. Oh God, please don't let me kill.
Mine are usually that short, so mine do get darker than that, but I'll leave it there. The precarious dreams don't taint our imaginations. When nights of salacious pondering leave us staunch for solutions. What time doth ebb and break through our auspicious silence? What is the meaning of the perceived visions of humanity's devolutions? How doth thine eyes see while thy are firmly closed? How doth thy pounding of our hearts over our heads? And how is it you cannot see the spooners whence you imagine? How is it that it is too late, our fates are spinning out over our prescribed nights? Why tell a story that's not worth the hearing? Why smile if thou art really broken? Why take the little things for granted? Why leave thoughts misplaced and badly spoken? And why do I see no answer to the hollows in my mind, where I am but trapped in the back of this vacant side? Then do you love without your heart or feel without your soul? Is there a piece of me left inside the darkness to resurrect and bind? Then will anyone remember the love I used to give? Remember the angel, not the broken devil, used in man. And will you ever love me, and still as I found to be, the broken soul of she who aches to be forgiven? Quiet.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
I don't know if most people know how deep I get into some of my thoughts and ponderings.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is you want a breakup poem? All right, I got one for you. And this is like vintage Nick. I think is when I like reading this one, it takes me right back to when this was going on. Like yeah. What is us? What is he? What is we? Do we truly have to be the couple that has to be seen? We're out night and day, seeing plays, hitting the hay. But sometimes I wish I was gay. For months and months I chased you, and then I looked, and then from then on I was hooked. But now anymore, the sun is set, and I am gone so long. Here I am at the place where one path ends, another begins. I don't know where this one will go. From henceforth, all mistakes are mine alone. It's a weird journey that we all must take, one that we must take alone, for betterment of himself, or to the enrichment of his doom. Yeah, this one I wrote on my first night of college. Like, this is the first time that like I'd been on my own and I couldn't sleep, so I made that one kind of get my thoughts
Should
out.
I show a darker one?
I'd rather you not.
I was gonna say it's not full of swear words, but
No, but like
because you did go a little dark.
a little, but like knowing you, it's gonna get really freaking dark, and I'd rather not. What is love?
Sorry.
What is peace? But what I must see, that it cannot be. What I truly must heed is that to take the lead, await it mustn't be. Love is lost, love is gone. All I have to say is so long, and you did no wrong. Yeah, another breakup. Oh dear God, more breakup. Nick, 2006. Nick, shut the f up.
When you lose, don't lose the lesson. Remember that from Chappelle Show? 2008, Dave Chappelle.
Death can be so potent, death can be so swift, but we all must remember that death cannot be tricked. Some may wait, some may fear it, some may want it, but true death, not a cowardly way out, because when God is ready for you. Sorry, sometimes. Oh, and that's the end of that.
I'm trying to find something here a sec because I do actually have some stuff that's a little more
Yeah, I have.
sweet and beautiful. Okay, no,
Yeah,
the one that says NSFW obviously isn't the one I'm looking for.
Yeah,
never
yeah.
mind that. Never mind that one.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, I wasn't gonna try. I'm not that bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Where is it? God, I can't get up right now. Please
All right.
something on hand.
So here's a good one. You want daddy issues? I got daddy issues for you.
Somebody take that out of context, please. Sorry.
Yeah, this is kind of when I started doing poems and songs, so some of them kind of complete together. And also, this is very Cat in the Cradle inspired. I had a game today. When I go out to play, the team wins, but I lose. I come home, scruffy and dirty. I tell my pa we won today. He says, go do your chores. Empty chairs, empty hearts. It's all the same when the one who matters most is nowhere to be found. Yeah. Let's see here. This one, it says it's from. Okay, that's from no. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. When my uncle died, in 2011, he died. In 2011, I wrote this. Poem. Yeah, this one's good. This is probably one of my better ones. Your time has come at last, but it happened oh so fast. You'll be dearly missed. I know your wife wishes that you could give you one last kiss. We wish you were here. To right all the wrongs that have been happening all along. We wish you were here. It won't ever be the same. We'll always remember your name. You fought for our flag and gave it everything you had. And now you can rest, knowing you did your very best. We wish you were here. Your pact was great, and you were never too late. We wish you were here. You always did what you must, without much of a fuss. Your body may be gone, but your spirit will live on amongst all your kin. And now it is time for your next life to begin. I could actually see that, Hooded Raven. Like I could actually, like when you say that. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, some of these. Yeah. Oh, this is very emo. So this one will be interesting. It's called "The Price of Eden." The sight of you binds me. The idea of you frightens me. The taste of your forbidden fruit kills me. Like Adam before me, your apple connects me to a place which could ruin me. Even then, your touch hooks me. Your kiss collects me. The words you whisper enchant me. Like a snake you convince me. Like Eve you ensnare me. I wish the fruit of knowledge had never come to me. That is a yeah. Yeah, that's actually not bad.
I'm just trying to decide how real I'm willing to be with my old emotions, considering how old some of the stuff in this book is.
Yeah.
Because that's all I could find offhanded. This is the book with some of my earliest work. I'm looking at stuff here that literally says 99 on it.
All right, so this one is called Making Waves. Sunlight on my skin, the waves on my brow. Oh, how John truly flies when you lay by the bay. As pure as the ocean breeze, calmer than the setting sun. The purity of the sea is something we all should be. Like the waves we flow and the air we stay. Above it all. Yet we ponder while gazing into the wild blue yonder. So, Rose, be honest. How bad are these?
They're not that bad. Here, you okay? Do you want to hear one of my early breakup ones?
Yeah, go ahead.
Things just haven't been the same since a gloomy December morning. The nightingale seemed stuck with the songs of misery he was singing. I look out in the quiet, pondering. Oh, my pretty baby, why didn't our love last? The morning rain sophomorically with frozen tales of spirituality. But back at home, my eyes were stars fading in their crying. Oh, dearest, most perfect one, nothing is the same since you were taken that morning of December pain. Yeah,
Nice.
that would be me when I was young and kind of emo. This is one of many books I've got filled, so
Nice.
many books. It's like I want to read the romance ones because that's when I start sounding like a little doughy-eyed girl.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably be wrapping this up soon. I also did write a lot of songs. I got a bunch from this called Winter's Rot. Isolation, so bitter and sweet. Time cannot help me, for I am already spent. The seasons come, the seasons go. With every fall, I fail it all. Watch me now, which is my final act, for I am due for the rack. The seasons come, the seasons go. With every fall, I fail it all. Winter's chill bring mental downs. I've been through it all. Now it's time I break. The seasons come, the seasons go. With every fall, I fail it all. Like the flake, I relate. Unique, but not long-lasting. Quick to shine, quick to melt. For I am what the seasons bring. The seasons come, the seasons go. With every fall, I fail it all. Like winter, my time has come. To change or be late. Either way, I am due my fate. Okay, that's actually not bad. It needs a little tweaking here and there, but yeah. So, Rose, what do you think of my stuff?
A little jumpy on a few of the lines, but those are on the older ones we talked about. Most of it flows pretty well. And definitely can feel the emotions.
Yeah, this was kind of meant. That was meant to be a song. Like that last one was kind of meant to be a song. You can really hear that. Yeah, I'm in my. Let me just kind of show you. Like this is my songs folder, just to kind of give you an idea. Let's see here. But yeah, I have there's a lot. So yeah, let's wrap this up, shall we? Nix, do you have any final words?
No thought, head empty.
Oh, really? Were you just kind of vibing with the stuff?
Yeah.
I should start sharing more of this stuff with everybody.
All right, Eagle Rider, any final words?
Big boobs rock, and everybody who hates them sucks. How's that for a simple sum up?
Yeah, that's pretty correct.
I second
Chris.
this.
Chris.
Yeah, it was a good stream, man. It was cool seeing people share their poetry. One thing that I'm seeing right now on the screen that I'm not sure if it was mentioned or not is the new Epic logo for Screecher.
Oh yes, thank you, Xevious. That is his doing. He is both epic and awesome, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Let's see if I can do this. All right. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah. So everybody, if you could back Screecher on almost said Indiegogo there. If you back it on Indiegogo, that would be great. Let me just kind of put this back here. Thank you everybody who both backed and those who on the stream with me. I will see you guys all next week. Make sure to catch tomorrow when me and Nix will be streaming Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. We'll be meeting the inspiration for Harley Quinn, and we might be invading a certain hotel.
Ooh.
Nix knows what I'm talking about.
Best level, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Nix, in most of my playthroughs, I enter the console command to skip it, but we'll play through it.
How could you? It's such an icon.
It is. So everybody, thank you all for watching, and remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk through it.